All right, ready? How can I? All right. So, okay. Here's the story. I used to have a Chabad house in Ohr Yehuda. Ohr Yehuda is a town right near Kfar Chabad, where I live. This is like in about 1987, I think. The Rebbe said, if you make Chabad houses all over the world, the Jews will get out of Russia. What one has to do with the other, I don't know. But in fact, Chabad houses were made all over the world. A lot of them were made in Israel. And the Jews got out of Russia. Okay, so where did I make my Chabad house? I didn't want to make a Chabad house. I had no connection, no desire to do such a thing. But nevertheless, I did. I made a Chabad house in a city called Ohr Yehuda. A lot of people told me they would help me, they would give me money, a whole bunch of them. And it ended up, I did make the Chabad house, and all of the people dropped out. All of a sudden, they weren't this. They didn't have money. Anyway, so there I was. And thank God I was, these people. So one of the things I did was I went around like every Friday, and I went around to these different stores and factories and things like that. And I put tefillin, asked people if they wanted to put on tefillin. And it was, pretty successful. There was one place where it was like a restaurant, a small outdoor sort of restaurant. There was a big sort of like a square, and there were stores all around the square. And this fellow with the restaurant, he removed the whole front wall, and that was totally open. And he had like a wiring or something, and that he would pull down. That would be his in the nighttime. And the daytime was open, so it was totally open. And he put a few tables outside, and that was his restaurant. See, can I get rid of these other pictures over here? Huh? No? Is this?
What are the pictures?
Oh, what do you see? You just see a picture of me here?
I see you.
Oh, okay, good. Because on mine it says different pictures. Okay. So anyway, I went to this person who ran this store. It was a restaurant. And he was like always standing behind the counter. And I would say, would you like to put on tefillin? And he would start cursing me out. Get out of here. I don't want you here. Eventually I found that his brother, when his brother was there, his brother would put on tefillin. These were fellows maybe in their 30s. His brother would say to him, Nissim, come on, put on tefillin. At least don't curse the rabbi out. Rabbi, they're a bunch of fakers. Get out of here. I don't want to see you in here. And other people would say, come on, let's. So you get out of my store. You're disturbing the customers. I don't want to this. So I said, okay, that's fair enough. I won't. I'm just. And he said, get out. Why don't you get a job? Why you're just a parasite and whether this? And he would yell at me. Your mother should be ashamed of you. And this. Anyway, so I didn't care about it. He didn't say it like really vituperously. He was really this. And I wasn't disturbing him at all. I just asked him if he wanted to put on tefillin. And some people did put on tefillin. I didn't. So I would go there every Friday. And I would ask him, and every Friday the same story. He would yell at me and he would scream at me, get out. And afterwards I would leave. I would say, good Shabbos. He would say, good Shabbos. So this went on for about a year. And, there were other people there also. And I would say, how you doing, Nissim? I would pass by. Nissim, how are you? Want to put on tefillin? Get out of here. Don't want to see your face. Get out. So finally, one day, this is like about a year, I guess, into, and every Friday, the same story. One Friday, it happened to be that I went by and there was nobody there. There was nobody in his store. His customers, they probably finished eating and new people came. So I said, Nissim, how you doing? Want to put on tefillin? He said, nah, get out of here. I don't want to. Leaving screaming at me. So I walked up to him and said, Nissim, why are you cursing me out here? There's nobody here. There's nobody even here. I mean, I've heard all these things that you said. I heard it already a lot of times, It's nothing new. Maybe if there's people around, I understand there's somebody at least to hear, what you're saying. But there's nobody here. Why are you so mad? I mean, just say no. I don't want to put on tefillin. What's that he said? So he looked over here and he looked around and he looked at me and he said, I don't know how to read Hebrew. So I said, that's the problem? He said, yeah. So I said, well, that's no problem. Come on, Nisan, I'll read for you. I said, oh, yeah? I said, yeah, just put on the tefillin. I said, okay, we'll go in the back room. I don't want anybody to see. I said, okay. There was a little partition there where that was his like sort of kitchen. It was a really tremendously small room. But we went there and he put on the tefillin and he said, Shema Yisrael. I mean, you got to know the Iraqi Jews. That's a whole different world, the Iraqi. That's a whole different type of Jews. So he said, they're usually very intelligent and but they're also, they can be really, just like Ashkenazic Jews, really against Torah mitzvahs, and logically, they do it logically, coldly. Anyway, so he puts on the tefillin, and after that, every week I would come, and I would just, go over to him. I would like wink or something, and he'd say, okay, and he would go in the back room. I'd go with him in the back room, and it was like, he was taking me back there so that I would be the kashrus advisor. I don't know what he thought in his mind, and he would put on tefillin. And this went on, and I would read to him, and every time he would have me read a little bit more with him. Until it came out that I was with him, let's say maybe 5 minutes or something. How long does it take? One week I go by him and I say this, and he says, that's it. That's it. I don't want you anymore. I don't need you anymore. So why? What did I do? And he said, I bought my own tefillin. I put on my own. So look, he held up for me. He was really happy. Put on his own tefillin. So what does it show? That if you persevere, and we're talking about a good thing, we're not telling him, he has to repent and recant, the end is near. It's a good thing. But if you see the good in it, and if you are steady and you feel you have a really obligation to every Jew, and you have to do it, of course, in a very positive way. But if you do, and you do it in a positive way, and you're only interested in the good of the other person, that's what the Rebbe is saying. Stand in the crossroads, and you yell out, sanctuary, sanctuary. There's hope. There's an alternative. You can be a good Jew. Then that will change the whole entire world. Okay, see you everyone at 3:00.
Nice
okay?
start. 3 o'clock.